Welcome back, familia, to Northside LDN. And today we've got a whole load of news. Players been linked to Arsenal, players been linked out of Arsenal. We've got all of that and more. So without further ado, let's get straight into it, caramba. Welcome back to Northside LDN. Today we've got a special guest with us today. This is Luca's live. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm good, fan. Just call me Luca and all that stuff. But no, I'm very good. Thank you very much for inviting me on. I've really looked forward to it.
No. Thanks for coming on. I mean, I want to get your take. Obviously, people, make sure you do also go like and subscribe to Luca's channel. It's basically his name there. So make sure you go and support his channel. Let's kick it off with the first headline. Let's not waste no time. Let's get straight into it. Which one is that? Right, there we go. Thomas Partey has opened doors. Has doors open, for Arsenal exit, with Juventus keen on potential swap deal. It goes on to say Thomas Partey has the doors open for an exit from Arsenal. According to reports from Spain, Juventus claim to be interested in signing a midfielder, with Arturo Melo potentially sent in the opposite direction as part of a swap deal. It says here, according to Spanish outlet AS, Partey may not play for the Gunners again. The report claims there has been constant disagreements between Partey and Arteta this season, and the door has been left open for a potential exit this summer. AS says Partey would cost around £30 million, which is 35 million euros, £15 million less than what Arsenal paid Atletico Madrid for him in 2020. Juve could also throw in a Brazilian midfielder, Arthur, to sweeten the deal. Let me get your opinion on it. What do you think about this? Partey not being happy. Not apparently, it's been reported he's not getting along with Mikel Arteta and potentially looking to eye a move. What do you think about this, bro?
To be honest, right, I think now I've just seen that news. I've not even seen it, but and the thing is, I think it's quite strange, to be honest, to see that, because look, it's a Daily Express, it's paper talk, the media do chat a lot of rubbish, and but no, I think for me, if Arsenal get Champions League football this season, Partey surely wants to stay, because if this is true, surely it's got to come down to the club, surely it's got to come down to the manager, because the thing is, like, if this is true, and if we're going to be swapping Melo, it's not my take, because the thing is, for me, I don't rate Melo, in my opinion. Yes, he was linked with us in the January transfer window because we basically had no midfielders. But for me, look, I look at it now. We must keep Thomas Partey. If we get Champions League this season, he is one of the main priorities in midfield. Yeah, okay, he's injury prone. I get that. I totally respect that. But we've got to keep Partey. And for me, if he goes, we need a proper replacement. This guy, you cannot allow Melo to be the replacement of Partey. It doesn't. You can't, because for me, I look at it right Northside, and for me, you cannot replace. If this manager is going to go, look, it's only rumours, but if this manager is going to go by replacing Partey for Melo, you can't do that.
No, I agree with you. But I wouldn't put it past this manager. Look, all the headlines that I'm reading right now, people take it with a pinch of salt. We're literally just going over the news that's circulating around Arsenal and transfers. Do I believe it? No. But at the same time, I've seen this manager falling out with all our big players. But then again, he was the one that brought Partey here. So at the same time, he's only really been falling out with the players that were here previous. You know, not really the players that he's already brought in. For me, like you just said, we've seen, you know, how shaky and how we don't have enough rotation in the squad. So getting rid of Partey when we don't even have rotation for Partey is absurd. Like, I just feel like, how are you going to get rid of Partey when you don't even have rotation for him? We should be getting rid of El Neni, and we're getting in an inferior player. Like, I don't need to watch Juventus. I already know that Artur's not as good as Partey. So why would we get rid of Partey? Makes no sense. But that's what, you know, at the end of the day, I think most of these journalists, they know that Arsenal are desperate for transfer news, and they know that Arsenal fans are going to click on it. So I think it's nonsense. What do you think?
I think it's a load of rubbish, in my opinion, because I agree what you say, Northside. Because if we're actually that desperate for transfer window, like we've seen all these rumours, Tillemans, Gabriel Jesus is agreed already. Look, Arsenal Football Club don't normally pre-contract, and that's something what we need to learn. We don't pre-contract on these players. If you want to go and get these players, we think they're good, go and get them now. Go and get them signed. Whether what competition they want to play in, go and get it done, pay the money. And the thing is, I don't believe in any of the media Northside. And for me, with Partey, right, like what you said, it doesn't make sense whether like Arteta was the one who brought him in. We paid 45 million, right? And it's saying on that news article that we're going to be paying 10, 15 million less. I'm like, mate, it doesn't make sense. And if this is true, and this manager signed a 3-year contract, then I'm sorry, but this club, seriously, has really got a lot to learn.
There you go, man. It is what it is. Enough said on that. For me, I call it BS.
So do
I don't agree with it. We've got another headline here. Eddie Nketiah offered Arsenal escape route despite recent heroics. Bro, West Ham are reportedly hoping to sign Eddie Nketiah on a free transfer from Arsenal this summer. Nketiah has stayed for Arsenal in recent weeks, but is out of contract on the 1st of July, opening up the possibility of a move to the Hammers. What do you make about this? Nketiah going to West Ham?
I think it would be a good move for West Ham, in my opinion. And I know this is the thing, and I've watched a few people this week saying that they're willing to give Nketiah a contract. Well, yes, he's done very well, and he has scored important goals, but I think it's too late to give him a contract. One, the guy wants first-team football. Two, he's going to be sitting on the bench, although we need 2 strikers. But knowing Arteta and knowing Edu and Arsenal Football Club are probably only going to be signing 1 striker. If Arsenal were going to be signing 1 striker, means Nketiah could be staying. If you're going to be signing 2 strikers, means he's off. Because Nketiah is not guaranteed to be the main striker if Arsenal bring in 2 strikers. But Nketiah to West Ham, I think it would be a really good move for West Ham. Because for me, Antonio picks up injuries. Someone might look at Bowen in the summer, like Liverpool been linked with him in the past. And for me, with Nketiah, I wouldn't keep him. Like, I think it's far too late, in my opinion. And for me, we need better strikers. People might say, oh, yeah, he might be good as squad depth. He's done well. He scored against Chelsea. He scored on the weekend as well. But the thing is, the guy doesn't score 20-plus goals a season. You need a striker who's going to come in, right, that's going to hit the ground running. Yeah, okay, it's going to take time. Whether what striker we're going to be bringing in, whether it's Gabriel Jesus, fair enough. But the thing is, Nketiah for me, look, he's doing very well. I'm praising him, right? I'll get behind him. But for me, in the future, not good enough, in my opinion. He's got to go, and for me, he's going to go. But I was hearing something the other day, like someone was saying, if Arsenal get Champions League football, you're thinking, right, why would you want to leave to go Crystal Palace? And if Arsenal win the Champions League, then it doesn't make sense whether you're going to be dropping down like you've actually scored the goals, which have actually got us into the Champions League, if you get us into the Champions League.
Yeah. Well, this is what I'm saying. I completely agree once again, because at the end of the day, people got short-term memories. Where's he been for 90% of this season? Where's he been? You know, the only times I saw him scoring was against Sunderland. That's round about his level. I'm sorry, not good enough for Arsenal Football Club. We should be rebuilding our attacking force, and we should be getting 2 strikers in minimum. We shouldn't just, I don't even want us just to get 1 striker, whether that's Darwin Núñez and Ivan Toney, or I don't really want Calvert-Lewin. Nkunku is a striker that I want, but he's just not good enough. And I don't want my club to be a charity. At the end of the day, if you're not good enough, it's not nothing personal. You need to leave, you know, like you need to go. For me, yeah, I can praise him about scoring a brace against Chelsea and scoring against Leeds, and that's all good. But at the end of the day, I need you to be able to perform week in, week out. And we got rid of a striker that was able to do that and had a history of doing that while he's at Arsenal in Aubameyang. So now we need to rebuild, and Nketiah is not the level. And we need a striker that can easily get us 20-plus goals a season. That is what is required if we're going to dethrone Man City and Liverpool at the top. And that's what the standard should be, not just, oh, we can do a job. I don't care about players doing a job, because when we've bought players that can just do a job, we ain't been in the title race. So for me, Nketiah, he can leave. Like I said, when he does a good job, he does a good job. But for me, he ain't good enough. Him and Lacazette, goodbye. Your contract's up in July. That's it. I don't want to hear no Bukaria. At the end of the day, I want trophies. And I know most of these are international trophies, but I ordered these so people can realize that football's about trophies, not about getting top four, not about just about doing enough and just, nah, man, I want to be in the Champions League. I want to win that. And this player is not able to win us Champions League, not even able to deliver us a Premier League trophy. So, for me, get rid of him. And if we're getting rid of him anyway, why didn't we get rid of him even earlier? We had offers for him last season. He could have went for 20 mil. So if we get anything less than 20 mil, I'm going to be annoyed, because we should have got rid of him and now we're getting rid of him for less. I don't think we're going to get 20 mil because he's going to go on a free because his contract's up. So this
is something which Arsenal need to learn, because I was criticising Nketiah in the January transfer window. And I was saying, right, if you've got 6 months on your contract, why are you keeping the player who's running down his contract into the free? What we are allowing, you've got to make a profit out of it. It's no good running down these players on the contract, because that's how we're not going to remove and be ambitious at this football club. No wonder no one doesn't want to come to our football club. So for me, it's something where the club in general and the manager have got to look into that. Over the years, we've run players down their contracts.
Yeah, exactly. But yet these are the same people that want to say, oh, but we made a saving off of Aubameyang's wages. Why don't we actually make some money off of player sales? Because everybody else can. Why can't we? Why the players run down their contracts?
Dominic Solanke, they sold him for 20 million, right? Do Arsenal Football Club do that? If Arsenal had Solanke at the club, they'd probably get about 3 million for him. That's how Arsenal Football Club run. That's how we are. And the thing is, like, why can't we not get other sales? Like you can't just go rely on one individual player who used to be with us on 350 grand a week. Why can't we just not do it on other players? It doesn't make sense.
Nah, it doesn't, bro. It doesn't. So yeah, I think we both agree. Nketiah, new deal? No, thank you. Let him go to West Ham. Let him do whatever he needs to do. Yeah, I hope all the best for him, but yeah, not for me. At Arsenal, I think his career's done now. At Arsenal. Another headline from the Metro: Jose Mourinho sends transfer message to Tammy Abraham amid Arsenal interest. Jose Mourinho has suggested he will not stand in Arsenal target Tammy Abraham's way if he asked to leave Roma and return to the Premier League, but he's confident the striker will remain in Italy. The 24-year-old has excelled in Rome since leaving Chelsea last summer, netting 15 goals in Serie A and helping the side reach the final of the Europa Conference League later this month. Tammy Abraham, what do you reckon? Would you have him at Arsenal?
I wouldn't have him. Not for me, because the reason why is because this is what people got to remember, right? And this is what people are forgetting memories, right? Is that in the Premier League, right? He wasn't good enough in the Premier League, okay? Yeah, he scored a couple of times against us, even that pre-season last season. But the trouble is, he's scoring goals in the Italian league. The Italian league, right, is an easy league. It's a piss league. And the trouble is, Tammy Abraham, no wonder Chelsea wanted to get rid of him. And now Chelsea fans are saying that they kind of wish they had him back. Well, for me, no, I don't want Tammy Abraham, because this guy ain't going to get you 20, 25 goals. The minimum he'll probably get is probably 10 to 12 goals. And for me, that's not what Arsenal Football Club. And for me, we need Tammy Abraham, not for me, man. Look, he's a good player, but the trouble is, not good enough in the Premier League. Like for me, with Chelsea, right, that's why Chelsea got rid of him. And if he's not good enough for Chelsea, why is he good enough for Arsenal? So I don't want him. I don't know whether you want him. Roma want a ridiculous money because it's English tax, but I don't want Abraham. Like, this is what people are forgetting. Like it's an Italian league, and some people are just going by logic and thinking, like, what if he comes back to the Premier League and ends up repeating that? If he does that, that's great. But I don't think he ain't going to do it. So Abraham, not for me. So
yeah, no, facts. I think this screams of Lukaku 2.0. Never really done it in the Premier League, has done it in a weaker league, and all of a sudden he looks like the best thing since sliced bread. Not for me. I completely agree with you. I don't want deadwood from Chelsea. And like I said, I've said this before. Every time we buy, our rivals is deadwood, it never works out.
No.
Silvestri,
Willian.
Welbeck. Yeah, there's loads of them that we've bought, and it just doesn't work out. Willian, I'm just not on it. If they, like you just said, I completely agree. If they're not good enough for our rivals, then they're not good enough for us. We're trying to, be better than our rivals. So we don't need their dead wood and the players that they don't deem good enough for them. They shouldn't be good enough for us. So I completely agree. Yeah. Tammy Abraham is a no from me as well. Another player that keeps getting linked. I'm sure you must have seen this link because we keep getting linked to this guy. But David Ornstein named Arsenal's top midfield target, Yuri Tielemans of Man City. What do you make of Yuri Tielemans? Do you rate him?
I think, look, a couple of people have said to me this week that they're not keen on the player. But I like the player, man. I think he's good. Yes, the only thing I will worry about this guy is he's good on the ball, but not good off the ball. Like, he can't do both things at once. That's something. And also, for me, he has a bit of an attitude problem. I get that. But Arsenal need players who are leaders and have attitude. So for me, they need leaders. So for me, I'd take Tielemans. I think he'd be great. I think he'd be a good signing. He's not the midfielder where could probably be the answer, but I think he's a good player, man. And I'll take him, man. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I just feel like he's a decent player. I definitely feel like we could do better, but he definitely walks into our midfield. I don't think he's world class or anything, but he's a step in the right direction. I wouldn't put my nose up at Yuri Tielemans coming to Arsenal. And I think his contract, I don't think he's got left on his contract. He must be coming down to his last 2 years or something.
Yeah, he's got 1 year left on his contract.
1 year left. Well, there you go. So I do think we could get him definitely get him at a cut price because he seems to not want to stay at Leicester. Obviously, Leicester are not performing. They're not the Leicester that won the league and were comfortably in the top four year in, year out. They've kind of regressed, and it was to be expected. But yeah, I think Yuri Tielemans could definitely do a job for Arsenal. So yeah, I'm kind of like, if it happens, cool. If it doesn't happen, I ain't that bothered. You know what I mean? He ain't world class, but he's a player that I think is a decent player. But I do think we could do better personally. I do think we could do a bit better than Tammy Abraham.
Who would you get in though that can actually replace Tielemans and like instead of Tielemans? We need someone like a midfielder who's actually going to start scoring goals. So
yeah, I mean, there's also Maddison there that I would take. So there's a couple of Leicester players that I would take. I can't lie to you. The next headline coming from the Mirror: Arsenal slap with Nicolas Pepe demand as Sevilla weigh up transfer. It says here Arsenal may be able to offload Nicolas Pepe in the summer transfer window after Sevilla emerge as potential suitor for the winger. So it says here the 26 has contributed just 3 goals and 5 assists in 21 appearances for Mikel Arteta's side, who are open to the prospect of selling him this summer. He's on £140,000 a week. And yeah, apparently the Sun reported last month that Arsenal will be willing to do business at £25 million this summer in order to cut their losses and recoup some of the money they splashed 3 years ago. Let's get. What do you think? What do you think about Nicolas Pepe and the way he's been treated here?
The thing is, right? Like, I think it comes down to the manager, right? And I think like I went to the game on Sunday, right? And for me, like a lot of people were criticizing Pepe for me, and in my opinion, like, yeah, okay, he didn't have a good game on Sunday when he came on. I get that, and I'm with the fans on that. But with Pepe overall since joining in, I think it's the manager's fault, in my opinion. Like you're not giving him a chance because last season, when the pressure was off, when we got knocked out in that semi-final of the Europa League last season to Villarreal, Pepe was scoring goals. When we had no fans in the stadium for like a long time, he was scoring goals. I remember his goal against Leicester. I remember his goal against Brighton last season, a few games. And for me, I just think it comes down to the manager. Another manager where it's just basically just wasted his talent, in my opinion. And ever since then, he's not been the player what he was when he first joined. And for me, yeah, when we first signed him, the only issue I have is his price tag. I think we got robbed a little bit on the price tag. But for me, with Pepe, I feel like maybe, I don't know how to say it, but I feel like maybe the Arteta should have done better. And I think it comes down to the manager. Like I liked Pepe, in my opinion, right? And for me, it is sad. Maybe it is the right time to let him go because it hasn't worked out. And I feel like if we had a better manager, right, because the way Arteta is playing at the moment is killing players like Pepe, Saliba, Guendouzi and all that. And yes, Pepe came from the French league. I respect that. But I reckon if they had a better manager, if we had a better manager, like an elite manager, I reckon Pepe will score at least 15 goals this season. And for me, like, I'm going to be gutted if he goes. But I think it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like he's just been heavily disrespected. I mean, for Eddie Nketiah to be getting more game time than him, I don't think is correct. And some people may justify it and say, well, Eddie Nketiah has been scoring. I'm sorry. We broke our transfer record, to bring in Pepe. We should be working with the players that want to be here. Eddie Nketiah is saying he's going to wait till the summer to figure out if he's going to sign an extension or not. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. I mean, I don't even think Nketiah is Arsenal level, but if what he's holding the club to ransom, yet we're giving him all this game time while Pepe's there on the bench rotting. There's definitely things about Pepe's game that I don't like. Sometimes I think he takes too long on the ball. I think his decision making sometimes in the final third leaves a lot to be wanted. Sometimes I'd like him to just keep it simple like Martinelli and be direct. And sometimes he wants to do the fancy stuff. I'm not saying that he's the be or end all, he's the finished article. But as I said it before, this manager was lauded up as the reason why Sterling became a world-class, well, some people would call him world-class player. So why can't he be able to train Pepe as well then? If he's able to coach Sterling, why can't he coach Pepe? What's the difference? Because I don't see what the difference is. So if I was Pepe, I'd just leave because you're not being played. You're getting put on the bench. And a kid that's come from the academy, that ain't that great. And let's be real, ain't to the standards of Arsenal Football Club. Well, my standards anyway, probably your standards as well, is being able to be given more game time than you. And it's like, I just don't think it's right. I think he should just leave, cut his losses and leave, really. I agree with you. I just think it's just best for both parties if he leaves because this manager ain't getting fired. He's just got a 3-year extension for doing nothing. The next headline, Arsenal want to sign £51 million winger after he set up a title-winning goal. Arsenal are seemingly searching for a new winger this summer and are now turning to Porto winger Pepe as a potential signing. Apparently this guy's called Pepe as well.
So we're getting rid of Pepe and replacing him with the same name.
Yeah, Pepe has a 60 million euro release clause, which is 51 million pounds in his contract. So Porto are protected financially. Pepe, 25, joined Porto from Grêmio in 2021, and you would imagine that Edu knows all about the Brazilian winger. He has a great knowledge of the Brazilian talent, and Pepe was outstanding for Grêmio before his big move to Europe. Pepe has bagged 4 goals and 4 assists in 27 league games for Porto this season, but arguably came up with the biggest assist of all. Porto, they already played that match anyway. Yeah, so this guy, I've heard of him. I don't think he's good enough. For the football I see out there in Portugal, he's not been one that's been lauded up. You see, like Diaz, yeah? When Liverpool got Diaz, I heard of him bare, innit? And I saw how great he was, and I wanted him at Arsenal. But this guy here, he ain't good enough. And 4 goals and 4 assists in 27 appearances. I mean, he ain't any better than Pepe. And Pepe's barely played. This guy's being played week in, week out for Porto, and that's his stats. Sorry, not good enough. I'd rather stay away, especially for £51 million. You're almost playing the same money we paid for Pepe. Not for me. I mean, what do you think?
I totally agree, man. Not for me. And despite I've never heard of the guy, in my opinion. Like, I don't watch the Portugal league, but for me, if you're saying 4 goals in 27 appearances, I'm not a fan of it, to be honest, because say if we brought him in, you're replacing someone who we've already sold with the same name, but you're just saying 4 goals in 27 appearances. Not for me. Like for me, this guy should be worth at least like 10 million or something. 50 million, far too much, man. I'd rather spend it on someone else.
Yeah, fact. I don't know. I don't know where this has come up, but yeah, obviously these journalists, for me, they just make up rubbish most of the time. For clickbait, they know that obviously Pepe's out of favour with Arteta, so they're like, right, Arsenal are definitely going to need another winger because it looks like Pepe's edging out the door, and they just come up with this guy. But yeah, I'm not convinced. Not convinced at all. There's another player being linked to us, yeah, and I want to get your take on this guy because literally, I feel like he's only getting linked to us because he's Scottish, but I ain't seen him play. Arsenal now leading race for extraordinary player could bid £17 million. Mikel Arteta's Arsenal are leading the race for Bologna left back Aaron Hickey, and are willing to pay 20 million euros for him in the summer transfer window. Obviously, you're half Italian. Do you watch the Italian league? Have you seen this kid, this Scottish kid?
The thing is, I've seen him before, and for me, like, I've watched the Italian league before in the past, and for me, he looks all right. He's decent, but the thing is, my only issue is he good enough for Arsenal? Because I think when I watch him, he's had a few good moments. I think his best time was probably at Hearts. When he was at Hearts, apparently he was very, very, very good, but if you can get him on a cheap option, maybe it's quite good as a backup. But I've watched the Italian league, and I don't know if he's good enough in the Premier League. And for me, like, we need a very young left back that's going to be really good. And like, I'm hearing that we're linked with Zinchenko from Manchester City. I think that'd be not a bad signing in my opinion. Like, I'll look at maybe someone like Mitchell from Crystal Palace as well. Yeah. I think he's quite good promising as well.
Yeah, I've never seen him play.
He's not a bad player. He's okay. He's decent. But if you can get him on a cheap option, I'll take him.
Yeah. I don't know. He seems to be flavour of the week, man. We keep getting this, you know what I mean? I remember we keep getting linked to Martinez and things like that. I mean, listen, the rest of the links have definitely been players that we just keep getting linked to. Like Martinez from Inter Milan. Would you take him to Arsenal?
100%. Lautaro Martinez, 100%, because I think he's quality in my opinion. And for me, he's a striker where we've got to be looking. The only issue I have is, are Arsenal going to be that serious to get him? Are they really going to go out and pay like a ridiculous amount? Like, I don't know what his transfer value is, but Martinez, for me, I would take him because he is someone where he's quite young. You look at him, could actually be a potential replacement for Aubameyang. And I think he can settle the Premier League.
I don't know, man. I just feel like there's better options, especially for the money that I've seen that it's going to take to get him.
Which striker would you take? Which striker would you take in?
For me, I'm more convinced by Darwin Núñez, maybe because I've actually seen him play more. Obviously I also support Benfica. That's my Portuguese team. Nkunku's another player that I've actually seen. I've seen him play in the Champions League, and I've been more convinced. Whereas Martinez, the best of him that I've seen is in a 4-4-2, which is obviously we don't play a 4-4-2.
No, we don't.
We play a 4-2-3-1. So I just feel like, how is he going to adapt to the Premier League without having that striker next to him, like a Lukaku, that he can play off? Would he be able to adapt to that? I mean, Lautaro Martinez is only 24 years old. So he's still young. His stats this season ain't that bad. 33 appearances, 19 goals, 3 assists. It's not that bad, but he's getting valued already at £63 million. So that's probably going to go up because he's probably the Inter Milan's best striker now. Lukaku's gone, so you're going to play with the odds. You're going to be paying probably about 80 mil. They know that Arsenal are desperate. Everyone knows Arsenal are desperate. So, and like you said before, the English tax. So I just feel like there's better options, man. Because Darwin Núñez, yes, the Liga Portuguesa is a level, you know, below Syria. Let's be real, but I think he's got something like 32 goals and like 33 appearances. You know what I'm saying? So I just prefer him, and I'd rather Nkunku, and I'd even rather Ivan Toney. I think Ivan Toney is definitely a slept-on striker. I think he's a great striker, but he's at a small club that don't spend big. That, you know,
You reckon Ivan Toney? You reckon he's the answer though? Is he really going to get 15, 20 goals or 30 goals? Is he going to start scoring every single week?
Well, the thing is, what kind of service is he getting over there at Brentford?
Nothing compared, because we've got better players than Brentford. But I just feel Ivan Toney wouldn't be good enough for Arsenal, in my opinion.
So, well, Ivan Toney right now has got 31 appearances, 12 goals, and 5 assists playing for Brentford. You know, so he could easily, especially if we strengthen our midfield, he could easily get 20 goals, you know, or just under, because he's already getting 12 goals playing for Brentford that only just come up. You know, I'm not saying our midfield is great, because it's not. We don't, like I said before, we haven't replaced Ozil, we haven't replaced Santi Cazorla, we haven't replaced these creative players in the right way. I don't think anyone could really argue that. But at the same time, if we do address that and we put him in the team, I mean, he can hold up the ball, he's fast, he's a good goal scorer, he can score a variety of goals, you know, from long range, he can be a fox in the box, he can score headers. He's got it all. He's got it all, bro. And I feel like if he goes to a bigger club with better players spending more, I definitely think his stats will go up. I definitely think that's nothing to frown on. I mean, coming into the Premier League and scoring 5 goals and, you know, 12 goals and 5 assists, and the season ain't even over yet. You know, I definitely think he can do a job. What do you reckon?
I think, yeah, it's not a bad option. Like my only issue is, yeah, I get where you're coming from. 12 goals in 5 assists or appearances. I think it's all right, but maybe he wouldn't be a bad signing. But I just feel like we need someone like that's going to score. Look, okay, we're not getting players like Haaland. Okay, we're not getting players like that. But Darwin Núñez is someone what I'll look at. Maybe someone like, I don't know. Would you take Gabriel Jesus?
Would I take? Here's the thing with Jesus. Yeah, I don't think we're going to create enough opportunities for him to be worth taking a punt on, because he's not the most clinical striker. But one thing at City he has is elite service. You know, De Bruyne, you know, David Silva, you know, Mahrez, all those players giving him elite chances. Even the way they play gives him already, you know, elite chances. At Arsenal, we're not like that. We don't create the way City create. So I don't think he's the right fit for us. If you get what I'm saying, not saying he's trash. I just don't think he's the best option we could go for. So, you know, I wouldn't be gutted if we don't get him. I'd rather someone like an Nkunku, to be honest, who has 33 appearances and 20 goals and 15 assists for RB Leipzig.
I think Nkunku is a really good player, in my opinion. Like, he gets into the French squad. I thought he was a midfielder.
He can play as a midfielder. He can play as an attacking midfielder, and he can play as a second striker. He could, so he can play as a striker.
I'm a massive fan of him. Look, I would take maybe someone like Nkunku, Martinez, Núñez, someone like that. That's who I would take. Would we gamble? Like, I know this sounds a bit unrealistic, but would we gamble for someone like Robert Lewandowski?
What you would want us to go for Lewandowski
if we get Champions League?
Nah, man. Nah. It's, first of all, it's unrealistic. Second of all, he's close to the decline. Do you know what I mean? He's good now, but it's only a matter of time. How old is he? At 35, 36?
33.
We really need somebody that's in their prime and ready to give us their prime years. Like, any moment now, as much as I rate him right now, Lewandowski is on the wrong side of 30. You know what I mean? And for me, I'd rather just not go there. Plus, he won't come here because he's ambitious.
No.
For me, like I said, I'd want Nkunku, Ivan Toney, or Darwin Núñez. Are we going to get them? I don't know. There's a lack of world-class strikers right now out there. And the teams that are going for these world-class strikers are teams that can offer what Arsenal can't. And this is why I don't get over gassed when people think, oh, if we get Champions League, it's the be all and end all, because we're going to be competing with other Champions League teams. If we go for Darwin Núñez, he's been linked to Real Madrid. Well, they can offer him Champions League football, and they are known for winning the Champions League. We are not. If we go for Nkunku, he's being linked to Europe's elite as well. So they can match the wages that we will put down on the contract, and they can offer him the chance of winning it when we've never taken it serious. Even under Arsene Wenger, we would get knocked out in the quarterfinals, and Arsene Wenger is levels above Arteta. So it's not as black and white as I think some fans think it is.
Yeah, 100%. Because the thing is, this is what I don't understand, right? Is getting Champions League, right? Are we even ready to actually compete? Because the thing is, what I want for Stanzas is, like, what would you want if we get into the Champions League? What would you want to do in the Champions League?
What would I want to do in the Champions League? Yeah,
what would you want to do? Like, say, like, if we didn't get all the players what we wanted, and if we got into the Champions League and we actually know, okay, we're not going to win it. But what I'm saying is that what would you do as like, if we were in the Champions League? Because the thing is, like, if we get into the top four, that's great. It's good to be back into the Champions League. But it's about how we're going to be ready. It's going to be you need so much squad depth. It's no good, obviously, right, keeping individual players who are performing like Nketiah, Holding, all these players. I'm hearing that Holding might get another new deal. Not for me, because the thing is, these players, like some of these players are under Arsene Wenger and other managers. You cannot keep the individual players, right, who are performing at the end of the season. Okay, yeah, okay, people might say they're good for now as squad depth because we're making them good because they're actually performing, because we're knowing that we're competing for something where we actually got to try and compete for top four. But we need squad depth. And this is something where the manager and the board have got to look into, because if we don't get these sort of squad depth players, then why would you want to be in the Champions League? Because we're going to get slapped by Bayern Munich. Because the thing is, if we get into the Champions League, we're guaranteed to be facing one of the big teams in one of the pots.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, for me, what I want is us to get a proper right back. I'm talking about world-class right back. I want a deep line playmaker. I want another number 10. I want 2 strikers, and I want 2 wingers as well. So we have rotation for Martinelli and Saka. That's 7 players. I don't see this club doing that. I don't see this club doing what's necessary. And we could have at least tackled and got 3 of those players or 2 of those players in January. And now we're going into the summer where everyone's looking for players. Everyone is, eyeing up the same targets as Arsenal. And there's going to be a lot of competition. And I just don't feel like that's going to happen. I don't think this manager even has any pressure. I mean, he got given a 3-year contract extension when top 4 is still up for takes. I mean, we haven't cemented top 4, but he got a contract extension because this club is not about winning. This club is not about being the best. This club is about doing just enough and wheeling out, merchandise and raising ticket prices and all the rest of it. So I want to be in the Champions League to actually compete. I was so annoyed under Arsene Wenger every time we'd be getting slapped up in the quarterfinals. I'm like,
and the last 16.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, and when people say, oh, you know what, Arteta needs to get top 4 and then he'll get world-class players. What world-class players did we get when we had Champions League under Arsene Wenger? Because when we bought Thierry Henry, he wasn't world-class. When we bought Fabregas, he wasn't world-class. When we bought Nasri, he wasn't world-class. When we bought Adebayor, he wasn't world-class. Van Persie, when we bought him, wasn't world-class. We don't have the history of actually buying established world-class players. We have the history of buying gems and making them into world-class players. So I'm yet to still see that. Obviously, Arsenal can attract that, but are they going to do that? I don't know. They're going down this youth project, and it looks like we're just going to get a bag of Tavareses and Lokongas who are not ready, not good enough, and have this potential. And the
thing is, I look at it, right, and why do people have to go and think like the board are honestly thinking, oh, it's Project Youth and that? Like, the thing is, why can't, like, look, I absolutely agree. Like when you look, when we signed Thierry Henry and all them, nobody never knew who these players were when they debuted about 20 odd years ago, right? And for me, yes, like no one never knew who Alexis Sanchez was, but we turned Sanchez into a world-class player and then he flopped at his next club. So for me, why can't we not get a player from like, why can't, look, because of Stan Kroenke, because of the board and all that, yeah, okay, he doesn't spend no money and that. And like I said, we're not going to change. We're not going to change at this football club. And people got to remember, and people got to actually come together and try and get this owner out. Because for me, like, look, it's not just that. It's just we need world-class players. Because look, why are people compared that we want to be like Man City and Liverpool? We're not going to be like Man City and Liverpool anytime, because we need to worry about our thing. Why are people worrying about Man City and Liverpool? That is what I don't understand, Northside. Because for me, I look at it like thinking, why are people saying that Arteta is the best looking Spaniard we know? He isn't the best looking Spaniard we know. Look, everyone's tied to their opinion whether they want Arteta in or Arteta out or anything like that. But the thing is, Northside, why do people are comparing? And I said this on my channel before. I said, why are people comparing Arteta to Jurgen Klopp? It actually took people saying it took Jurgen Klopp the 4 years because Klopp was backed. He did it the right way. He got players like Andy Robinson. That is something what they've done. We don't do that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't really get it. I think in his third year, he won the Champions League. But this guy is struggling to get us Champions League qualification. So, and that's while doing it while he only has one game a week to play after throwing away the FA Cup and Carabao. I don't get it. So that means basically next season he has to win the Champions League. Otherwise, you can't no longer compare him to Jurgen Klopp. I don't get it, man. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Listen, we're going to get into some of the comments. People, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you also go like and subscribe to This Is Luca's Life as well. Make sure you go subscribe to his channel as well. Another Arsenal channel, speaking facts and not going with the flow and, you know, saying what you really think instead of peddling this PR process crap and acting like, you know, just because we're Arsenal fans, we have to agree with everything that happens at the club. No, if you don't agree with something, you don't agree with it. And it is what it is. Big up Northside. Tielemans is good on the ball, not so good off the ball. Big up Northside, back on the grind. Enjoy all your content. Keep up the great work. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Northside, what's good, my brother? What's good, everyone? Big up everyone. Adeyemi signed for Dortmund, by the way. Listen, that boy is going to be a superstar. I'm telling you now, I've seen him. We were linked to him as well. But I saw that Dortmund were linked to him. I knew that Dortmund would get him anyway. And I think it is good anyway. I don't think he's ready for the Premier League, but we should have signed him and loaned him back out. But hey, what do we know? What do we do? We got Super Mikel Arteta. Sutton Northside. Man City about to sign Haaland and we still ain't got a striker in. Fuck's sakes, shake my head. Exactly. Because they're proactive. We're reactive. So it is what it is. Man, players these days are bare fake. They give it all the I love this club, kiss the bad and rare tear, then quickly jump ship when Barca or them man come in for them. Well, this is it, man. But listen, it's not their fault. You know what I mean? When I look back, is it Van Persie's fault that Arsenal had no ambition and he left? Is it Adebayor's fault that he left because he wanted to win stuff? No, it's Arsenal's fault. Because if we were winning stuff, players would stay. I've always said this before. Right now, with this current regime, yeah, if Sol Campbell was playing for Tottenham now, would he come in? No, he wouldn't. The reason we could attract Sol Campbell, even from a player of that stature from our rivals, is because we were run properly and the ambition was to win the league. That's why he left. We can't attract Harry Kane from Tottenham. We can't do things like that because we're not run to win stuff. He's looking at it like, that's not a step up. You're doing the same crap as Tottenham, you know, doing just enough. You're not competing.
Because the thing is, Northside, I agree. Because the thing is, like when we signed Granit Xhaka, Kante was available, right? Why do we have to go for reject players who were good about 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, right? Whereas why can't we not go and snap Kante? Why can't we not go to Man City and go and get a Mahrez? Why can't we just not do that? Because we're not run like that. And the reason why we signed Sol Campbell in 2001, because we were winning things, right? This is before the Kroenkes came in, before Edu came in, before all these people come in, these bunch of people come in, right? We were ambitious about 20 years ago. Now, our football club is just run by, we've got Super Mikel Arteta. People think that he can actually win the league, right? Whereas I ain't going that far, mate, because I don't think he's not good enough to win the league. I want a proper manager. I want someone like Simeone. And people saying that Simeone, okay, yes, sometimes he can play ball in football, but he's a manager where he knows how to win things. Why are people comparing the comparison whether he might not be good enough in the Premier League? Simeone is a proper manager, yeah? He's won things. He won, what? The Spanish league quite recently with Atletico Madrid. Why can't we not attract someone like? Look how many managers we've had over the years we've missed out. Arsene Wenger should have left in 2014 when we won that FA Cup against Hull. That was the perfect time from now to where we are now to get other managers. Klopp, we were linked with, we didn't bother. Guardiola, we were linked with, we didn't bother. Conte, we were linked with while Arteta was in charge, didn't bother. So many managers we have been linked over the years, and we've missed out on Ten Hag as well, who I personally would have took, in my opinion, over Arteta, right? Why have we been left? And this is how our football club is run. It's run by merchandise, season tickets, profits. We've got Super Mikel Arteta, all these people, man. Like literally, like from like back in the glory days, right? It was good, and now ever since the Cronkies came in, and ever since this whole love fest with people got Mikel Arteta, it's completely changed.
Bro, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. And you know what it is? When I get criticized by some of these people, yeah, these are the same people. These Artetarians are the same people that started flip-flopping when we lost to Everton and said that was a straw that broke the camel's back. These are the same people. When we went 3 games, yeah, getting slapped up, Crystal Palace, Brighton, all of that, Southampton, and we lost 3 in a row. They said, oh, we should have bought in January. Yeah, they flip-flopped. Whatever's trendy, that's what they would do. But listen, we just say it as it is. I don't flip-flop. I've had plenty of chances to flip-flop. We've been winning recently. I'm not flip-flopping because I don't believe in it. I don't believe that Arteta can outdo Conte, Tuchel, Klopp, and Guardiola. He's not a better manager than either of them. I don't even think he's a better manager than David Moyes. It is what it is, but the super fans will look at the table and say, oh, but we're above them. Yeah, so what? Do they spend the same money that we do? And they're overachieving. When's the last time this manager's overachieved? He never overachieved. You know what I mean? It's a joke. Asensio said, Henry said it best when he said our club isn't the same club. Players jumped to sign for Arsenal back then. He's right, though. He is right. Even Gary Neville, no, not Gary Neville, sorry, Roy Keane said it as well about Man United. Now players want to leave. I'm not listening to none of the rumors the media are peddling right now. We're going to be linked to a ton of players every day, and we won't sign any of them. We're going to sign some youth players. Kiss my teeth. Listen, at least 1 or 2 of them will probably come right, but the majority of them is all BS. So I get what you're saying, bro. But yeah, we're just going over, players being linked to Arsenal. But I get it, man. I get it. Because for a long time, yeah, I don't know about you, bro. But for a long time, I'd stopped listening. I stopped watching like players that Arsenal were linked to. I can't lie. I don't know about you, Luca, but I had a point where I'm like, I was tired. Do you remember when we were linked to Draxler? Every flipping window. Linked to Benzema. Every window. I remember even the time that Arsene Wenger was coming out with, oh, we could have signed Ibrahimovic. We could have signed Cristiano. We could have, bro, I was just so sick of it, yeah. I just thought, bro, I don't even care no more. Do you know what I mean?
That's the same with me because the thing is, like when we were linked with Benzema back in 2007, right? So many years, about 10 years we were linked with him, and then we were linked with Lacazette for like 10 years ago or something. I remember we eventually got him in the end. Like if you're linked with the player, and back then 2006-07, that's when it started going a little bit downhill, right? Why could we not actually, before the owners and all them lot came in back then, why did we not just actually go and get them? Because ever since we got rid of David Dein, the club has gone downhill. And for me, David Dein was a top person, because I remember Thierry Henry, right, was linked with Barcelona, and then I see an article, right, and I remember that year when we got rid of him in 2007. 1 week he was staying, and I was thinking, right, okay, funny enough is I started believing it, right, and then about a week later, he was gone because David Dein left, and ever since then, and I reckon at the time I was saying to myself, David Dein, if he was still at this football club right now at this moment of time, we'd be challenging. We would be challenging because the thing is, Now we've got these owners in, right? And now with all this love fest about everyone talking about Arteta and all that, we've completely changed, and people just want to accept fourth place. Fourth place isn't what we need. For this season, you can accept fourth place, but for next season and future seasons, you cannot accept fourth place because Wenger finished fourth, 20 years on the trot until Tottenham came in and started finishing ahead of us every single year, right? You cannot accept that because the thing is, I want us to compete for titles, and we ain't going anywhere, especially with these fans believing Arteta and that. And like seeing all these players, we were linked with Cristiano Ronaldo. Like I don't know if you remember, right? We were linked with Yaya Toure. He had a trial with us, right? Played a friendly against Barnet in 2003. Didn't even sign for Arsenal. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. So
there you go. Tammy Abraham is better than Gabriel Jesus or any striker on the market not named Nunes, bro. I'm not even gonna get into that. I don't know what you're smoking. I don't know what you are smoking. Big up Northside and Luca. Big up La Familia. Tielemans is physically deficient. Runs like he has BBL. Put the right structure around. I reckon he could thrive. What you think of the news today? Haaland going City, mad, isn't it? Yeah, well, it's not that mad, bro, because they're a club that's actually run properly and they actually, actually set high standards. So I'm not that shocked, to be honest with you. I'm not that shocked. Obviously, he wants to play with Pep. He's one of the best managers in the world. That club, yes, of course, they're not going to win the Champions League, but they're still winning. They're still winning cups. They're still winning the league, So it is what it is. And I think after he goes to Man City, I think the next step he'll probably go to Madrid. So it is what it is. Haaland for City solves the goal scoring issue and boosts their club profile as a commercial asset. That's true. True say, bro. Man City going on militant while we go on like Lidl's. Yeah, that's it, man. We just shopping in the car boot sale, Wembley Market. That's what we're doing. Pepe isn't better than Saka, so why would Arteta play him? It's like Mo Salah being benched by Jota, bro. There's one thing called rotation, and with next season you want us to compete for the Champions League, the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, and the Premier League. You need to rotate. You need to rotate. Even this season, we were before this manager threw it away. We was in 2 cups, competing for 2 cups and the Premier League. So what? You don't have rotation in the team? I swear, for so long we were criticizing Liverpool because they didn't have rotation. Now they got rotation. They rotate because the thing is, what happens if Saka gets injured? Because best believe he will get injured eventually. Then what? You have to rotate the team. And there has been games this season that Saka has gone missing. No, it's not because Saka's dead. It's not because he's not a good player. It's because he's a young player, and with young players come
burned out by Arteta.
Exactly. So I don't really get it. Like, people go on like all you can have is a starting 11. Then why do we have a bench? Why do we have a youth academy? Why do we have all these? Why do you buy multiple players for the same position? Because you know you can face injuries or suspensions, etc. Like I just don't understand it. I don't understand it.
To be honest, right, like I say on the quick thought, right, like I don't understand it in my opinion because the way I look at it, right, like Arteta over the years, like Saka's not had a proper rest during lockdown, right? Back in lockdown, right? And for me, like, how can people compare, like, if you're going to go by, okay, yeah, he might be Arsenal's best player this season. But for me, like, I went to the game on Sunday, right? And you could tell he looked burnt out and all that stuff. And if you want to compete for these 4 trophies, right, where we're not even going to compete for all 4 trophies, but we're going to be there in the mix, right? You've got to have squad depth, and this is something where this football club needs to learn. And Arteta is no, like, if you look, all these players we've been linked with, right? I'm not believing it until it's officially on the website now and they're actually holding the shirt, right? So for me, I'm looking at it logically, thinking, right, okay, like if we need squad depth, like you go and get 2 strikers, you go and get a left back as well. We might even need a centre back. Hearing that Gabriel might leave as well. That's something what's not been talked about around this time. Like, we might need another set. Are we going to bring Saliba back as well? That's the question. He wants to come back, but it's whether the manager actually wants him back.
Yeah. Well, they've got this. They've got this here from Daddy Longhead. Pepe is dreadful, man. For fuck's sake, why do all you Arteta haters still pretend he is good? All you defend him based on your agenda against Mikel. He slows down the pace of our attack. He just doesn't have the minerals. Well, let me tell you something, yeah? Has he been given a fair shot? No. So, and at the same time, both me and Luca both said that there's aspects of his game that need to be worked on. Well, Arteta's supposed to be the coach. He's supposed to be the manager. Then coach him, yeah? But for me, before I've even, for example, Tomiyasu, yeah, he's had 1 or 2 injuries while he's been brought in, yeah. I held back my judgment of Tomiyasu because I haven't seen him have many games for me to actually form a real opinion of him, yeah. So before I make an assumption or an opinion on a player, I want to give you enough opportunities for me to then say, right, I don't think you're good enough because I've seen you. For example, Ben White, the issues I bring up with Ben White, Xhaka, all these, I've seen them have multiple games and not be good enough and not correct and not learn from the weak side of their games. I'm still not seeing Ben White defending properly. I'm still not seeing Xhaka affect the game the way I want him to. So that's when I criticize. Pepe has been on the bench in favor of Nketiah. Like he's not been given the game time. These people like yourself, yeah, you're gonna say that about Pepe, but you're the same type of person that will tell me, oh, Lacazette, the way he's been treated at this club is wrong. He never got a run of games. We should trust him. Just like Fuad said. But now he had a run of games. He ain't good enough. So at the same time, you can't say for one player you defend him like Lacazette and say, oh, he needs more game time. He needs this so we can see how good he is. He never got a run of games. But when it's Pepe, you're quick to say, oh, well, he's crap. I don't think he's crap. And if you remember rightly, yeah, he got us to a European final not that long ago. With a squad that most fans would say were the problem and were dead wood in players like Monreal and Mustafi, etc.
Check, Ramsey, Welbeck, and this manager.
You know what I mean? And it's like, bro, like give the guy a chance. Like the guy ain't had a chance. I'm not saying he's the big. No one sat here and said he's as good as Gabriel Jesus, or he's as good as Mahrez, or he's as good as any of these players, or he's good as Salah and Mane. No one said that. Do you know what I'm saying? All we're saying is he hasn't had a chance.
He's not been given a proper chance. And for me, this is what people got to remember, right? Like people can, like, okay, yeah, I don't like Pepe's attitude, right? I think it does need to improve. But you've got to give a guy like that because why are we wasting, like I said earlier, right? And said, like, why are you wasting? You're paying all that money, the highest, biggest player, right? And you're dropping him on the bench. Like we were criticising last season when Willian was with us, he kept playing Willian constantly. Like I'm thinking, like, bring Pepe in, literally. And the guy performed the end of look, he's a confidence play. He scores, and then he gets confidence again. Like, I remember he was involved, like the Wolves game, right? Pepe actually scored, right? And actually was involved, right, of Lacaz's goal against Wolves. So for me, ever since then, Arteta's like looked at him and thinking, right, okay, he's non-exist. Like for me, look, don't get me wrong, Pepe's not up there with like Sterling, Mahrez, Gnabry, Mane, Salah, and all them lot. But for me, Pepe doesn't work out for Arteta, and this is why the manager is starting to kill players like Pepe.
This is it, bro.
I don't get it. And the thing is, if we had someone like Conte, or we had someone better, I reckon they will get a player in him. And people might think and say, do they believe that there is a player in him now because of the chances he's had wasted? It's coming up to his Arsenal career, and we've left it into this mess. Like we pay the highest money, and we're going to get peanuts for it. We're not going to get no money for it. We're going to get like 25 million, right? And that's something which is where we've done over the years. That we've done this before, and we've not managed, right, to sell him for the price value.
But was it Sarri when Sarri was at Chelsea? Was it Sarri that won the league with Chelsea and he had Victor Moses at the back? Was it Sarri?
Was it Sarri?
Yeah. Was it Sarri? I can't remember who it was. But anyway, was it Sarri? Maybe it was Sarri, maybe it was Conte. I can't completely remember. But that was a player, yeah, that people said ain't good enough, was nothing. He got a tune out of him. You know what I'm saying? When have we seen this manager do that with one of the players that are dead and not good enough? Do you know what I'm saying? You got to work with what you've got. Look at what Pochettino did with Tottenham. Yes, they didn't win anything, but he got the most out of Winks. He got the most out of their deadwood. Do you know what I'm saying? Players that weren't good enough. The most out of Dele Alli, because Dele Alli wasn't ever worth the hype that, was the hype that was surrounding him. He got the most out of them. Eric Dyer, all those players, he got the most out of him. Why can't Arteta get the most out of Pepe? Get a tune out of him. Get something out of him. Bringing him on for a 10-minute cameo, 15-minute cameo. If you play, it's not enough. It's not enough to grow rhythm in the game. I got this comment here. Would you take Lukaku offside? No, I would not. Not good enough. Wasn't good enough at Man United. Ain't good enough at Chelsea. I'm sorry. No. I just feel like, just like Tammy Abraham, when we discussed Tammy Abraham links earlier on, I just feel like he's better at other leagues, but in the Premier League, he ain't good enough. And I just don't think this league is for him. That's just my opinion. Maybe some people may argue and say, okay, but Tuchel's not playing him in a 4-4-2, which is probably why he's not hitting form. And that was when he found his best form at Inter Milan, playing a 4-4-2 next to Martinez. And I can understand that, but we don't play a 4-4-2. So therefore, it's not going to work at Arsenal, in my opinion. If Nunes comes, he'd use the club as a stepping stone because he has the potential to be elite. Any player coming to Arsenal right now with this regime and giving this manager an extension for not even being in the title race is going to use this club as a stepping stone, not just Nunes. So that is a problem because the owners, the Cronkies, didn't buy, and they said it, they didn't buy Arsenal Football Club to be winning leagues. Yeah. Then they put that mentality with the manager and then down to the players. So every player is going to look at us as a stepping stone because we're not run to win. When you start winning and being ambitious, players want to stick around. So whether we get Nunes, bro, or we get Tammy Abraham, since you think he's world class, all of them are going to use this as a stepping stone. Do you get what I'm saying? Because that's what we've been ever since we didn't take being competitive seriously. It is what it is. It doesn't matter if it's Nunes or not. What's this here? I was watching Mesut Ozil's goals for us compilation earlier, man. I miss seeing him strut his stuff at the Emirates. Shame how he declined under Arsene Wenger. He was something else. Yeah, I'm not even going to get onto the Ozil thing. That will just make a massive debate. I would take Ronaldo, get him on the cheap. He would come if we get Champions League football. No,
Ronaldo is not going to come to Arsenal. No chance.
Yeah, no, I don't want him. Do you think PR Arsenal will sign PR Rashford? I can see it happening. He feeds the kids. He's part of the youth project. You know what I'm saying? I can see them doing it. I could see them doing it. Since last summer, I said we need 10 players. This summer, we need 10 players. We are 2 seasons from competing for trophies, cups, and staying in the top 4. Yeah, we probably do need 10 players.
I wouldn't say 2 seasons, longer than 2 seasons.
But we listen, we need 7 players to at least be comfortably up in the top 4. And that's 7 players I'm talking about that are world-class to great players. You know what I mean? Great to world-class players. 7 players, and then we can comfortably up there.
Who are these 7 players will be, though? That's the question.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I'll be real with you. No more youth. Arteta, where's the world-class players you spoke about getting? Inexperience on top of inexperience on top of inexperience. Get some more. That decent seniors. We need leaders. Yeah, that's facts, man. But apparently it's a youth project. Ronaldo in. Don't care if he's 37. Man's got 20 Premier League goals. And I've said, yes. Let me say this about Ronaldo, yeah? And I'm wearing a Portugal shirt because obviously I'm Portuguese. Everybody already knows that watches the show. I love Ronaldo. And for me, he's the greatest of all time. But for me, he's too selfish. And he takes away from other players as well. And I see that also with Ronaldo, with the Seleção Portuguesa as well. Everything has to run through Ronaldo. Yeah, everything needs to be feeding Ronaldo. Also, when you look at Ronaldo, he scores his goals in chunks. He'll go 2, 3, 4 games without scoring. Then he scores a hat-trick. Then he'll go a couple of games without scoring. Then he scores a brace. Then he goes a couple of goals. That's not good enough. You need week in, week out goal scoring. That's not good enough. He can't press. He's not much of a team player. You know what I'm saying? And the Premier League's a bit too fast for him, in my opinion. He does it against the small teams, against the bigger teams. Most of the time, he goes missing, in my opinion. He is not the elite Ronaldo that we know, and that's nothing. And that's not me shitting on him. He's my fellow countryman. I love Ronaldo, but he's 37, and you can see that he's 37. You can see he can't press. He ain't got the legs. He's not even that fast anymore. You know, he's still elite around the box because that's the last thing. You know, class is permanent. But for me, not good enough, man. Not good enough. And I don't even see him even coming to Arsenal, to be honest. I mean, before I move on, I mean, Luca, would you want Ronaldo at Arsenal?
I don't want Ronaldo at Arsenal. Don't get me wrong. Cristiano Ronaldo was a world-class player. Great player, but he's still a good player. Don't get me wrong, but he's not the player as he was when he was born to be a world-class player. And for me, like, Ronaldo's good, but I don't want him because of the age difference. We need players who are going to hit the prime. Think about it. There's like all the world-class strikers you've named over the years are hitting retirement now. So for me, in the future, you're gonna have the Mbappes, the Haalands, the Nunes, and all these lot. But Arsenal are not going to be able to attract those sort of players. Like, why would Ronaldo want to come? Because someone said in the comments, right, that Arteta wouldn't actually get the best out of Cristiano. Like, he wouldn't work with Cristiano Ronaldo. And Ronaldo, why would Ronaldo want to be at Arsenal with Arteta in charge? Ronaldo is a winner. Doesn't matter what age he is. Look at Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He's 40, 41. And he's at AC Milan and he's going to win the Serie A. Yeah, okay, it's the Italian league, but still he's winning a trophy at the end of the day.
Yeah. We've got here, Pepe is required to play defensive right back, tracking, etc., which he fails at. Xhaka has been pushed upfield with less defensive responsibilities, and suddenly his game is praised by many. There's also psychological burnout, and the fact that players like Saka know his international career is something coming up, and the World Cup coming up, lots of added pressure. Exactly. I don't understand how people don't know yet that players do need to be rotated. The club is run by bankers, accountants, financiers, and businessmen, hence why they make commercial corporate decisions over footballing merit, i.e. Arteta new contract for corporate uniformity streamline. Well, the way you wrote that was mad, but yeah. Well, what else have we got here? What else is people saying? If Arsenal were competing for championships, Saka, ESR, Martinelli wouldn't be playing as much as they are. Look at the top teams and how many have 5 under 23s with over 10 goal contributions. None. Great point. Conte won the league with Moses. There you go. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Was anyone saying, oh, he's world class? Were any Chelsea fans saying, oh, you know, he's the best thing since sliced bread? But he won the league with him. He got a tune out of him. You know what I mean? He got him playing well. He coached him. Something that this manager can't do. So it is what it is, man. What's this here? Arteta couldn't handle Ronaldo's personality, let alone Ozil and others. Another great point. Look at this guy. No, side, you're Portuguese. I didn't know. You never said it on your shows. Laugh out loud. Prove it. Say something in your native tongue.
Mate, he proved it, mate, because he's Portuguese.
He's being sarcastic. Like, this is what I'm saying. I should be saying, yeah, let's get Ronaldo in. You know what I mean? But I'm not, because he ain't good enough. He's no longer that elite player. He's no longer that elite player that people think he is. But yeah, respect to Luca, but there's nothing wrong with Pepe's attitude. If anything, he's too nice and polite. Me, in this situation, I would be a problem for Arteta, mocking my career. Yeah, I get what you're saying. If we got Ronaldo within the next 3 weeks, he would want out, just like William, because Arteta would tell him to defend rather than attack. There you go. Listen, people, make sure you like and subscribe to This Is Luca's Life. If you just tuned in, make sure you restart the live video so you can catch all the points and get Luca's opinion as well on players been linked to us. obviously me and Luca, we're just going over. Players been linked to Arsenal. Do we believe in any of it? No. It's just the news circulating around, and obviously it's a topic for discussion. Luca, thank you so much for coming on, bro. Where can the people find you?
Yeah, subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is Luca's Life, and follow me on Instagram. My name, Luca Quarter 94, and Martinelli AFC1. We are about 15, 16 away from 1.7. So if we can get that, that'd be great. And thank you very much for inviting me on and giving up my spare time. And it's been a great show.
No, man, thank you for coming on, bro. Thank you for coming on so last minute. Yeah, people, man, make sure you go like and subscribe to his channel. Go support the ting. And like you already know, we're out, familia.